Christopher Titus, and this is the Armageddon Update. For the first time in our history, an American president is on trial, but this isn't the last trial for this American president. Donald Trump on trial in New York City, his city. He was Mr. New York, and now he says, I can't get a fair trial in New York. Well, then maybe you should
stop breaking the law, asshole!
Remember how many times a day for the last 5 years this orange menace used the phrase fake news?
Fake news.
Fake news.
You are fake news. We are not going to let the fake news tell us what to do.
Very fake news. You know, you're dishonest people.
The dishonest media.
Your
organization
is attacking the fake media.
Well, this week, Trump's PECKER finally turned on him. The head of fake news, publisher David PECKER, at the National Enquirer admitted that indeed the paper, whose entire existence, by the way, depends on fake news, was paid by Donald Trump to make up fake news. So, after all these years, there was fake news paid for by a guy with a fake tan, fake golf score, fake wife, fake hair, and a fake net worth. You think Jesus would have sent a better representative, evangelist? Better than this burnt umber douchebag. So, what was the deal? What was the agreement to help Trump win the election? Well, PECKER said he volunteered to publish positive stories about Trump. You got to give him credit for that. That's a heavy lift. Positive stories about Trump. Hey, maybe he'll do Manson next. He also said he would print negative stories about all of Trump's opponents, one of which was Ted Cruz. So, way easier. But that wasn't all. With the jury listening, David told jurors how he promised Trump, quote, I will be your eyes and ears. Yeah, Donald Trump, this prick, had a PECKER helping him. Joking aside, though, PECKER said he told Trump that anything I hear in the marketplace, if I hear anything negative about you, or if I hear anything about women selling stories,
grab him by the pussy,
I will notify Michael Cohen. Wow, if he heard anything negative about Trump, he was going to call Michael Cohen. So I guess Michael Cohen had the Verizon Unlimited plan.
The mailbox is full and cannot accept any messages.
PECKER then said he would then buy the rights to all the stories so they could be killed. So there was fake news during the election, people. There really was. But it was brought to you by the guy who claimed it was all fake news. He was actually creating the fake news. But now a jury has to decide if this was a crime. And did PECKER's publishing plan precipitate plenty of positive results? Did the fake news publishing, even faker news, help sweet potato Hitler? Well, who do we know who reads the Enquirer? People that will believe anything. So, yeah, it worked. I bet you they all read the Enquirer. I bet they all have subscriptions. I bet they've all seen Elvis and Bigfoot. Prosecutors say Trump sought to influence the election with a practice known as catch and kill, which is catching a bad story by buying the rights to it, and then you also buy the silence of the person who was going to tell the story. He also had another scheme called catch and actually kill. But let's move on. Such stories paid $130,000 to porn actor Stormy Daniels to silence her claims of having sex with Mushroom Weenie. Another one paid a former Playboy model $150,000 to not talk about a nearly year-long affair with a very, very married and tiny-handed Donald Trump. So, we've got an ex-president and current Republican nominee for president who lost the popular vote twice and who was paying for fake news and making up the fake news he was paying for about his opponent so he could win the presidency and bring fascism back to America. All the while claiming the truth was fake news. The good news is he's not running for president ever again. He's never going to run for president, right? 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 He's not going to run, right? We're going to get, so he can't. I'm Christopher Titus, and this is the Armageddon Update. He's going to run again. How do we let this fucking criminal just run for president again and no one says anything? I don't get it. Like, why can't we just stop the guy? Like, dude, you're obviously a criminal. How do you have 91 felons? 4 indictments. What are you doing? What are we doing? Jesus Christ. Please, everybody, help. Everybody, Christopher Titus Podcast. How are you? What's going on? With me is always the lovely and amazing Bombshell Ray.
What's up, people?
And the even lovelier Highlander.
It must have been cold there in my shadow.
There could be only one. Look at this.
I don't know why he's lovelier.
You don't know why?
It's sarcasm.
How dare you? Zoom in on this face.
It's sarcasm. It's sarcasm is what I...
No, it's
I'm going
not.
to start pronouncing all words just weird. I already do it with download, which you hate.
You do. He always says download.
I don't
We
say.
need to get that downloaded. I'm not sure.
We had a problem with Cynthia on Titus. She could not say mothership. She could not say it. It was a punchline to a joke. And she'd go mothership. And she
same way.
And she couldn't do it.
That's what it always makes me think
And I
of.
locked into it. So now she started making fun of me saying download. There we go.
was
You got
good.
it. Oh
Okay.
God. Oh God. Let's please lock that in.
You also say Titanic. That
I said a couple times. I've said Titanic.
No.
Yeah,
No,
Titanic.
It's,
Yeah,
it's disappointing.
yeah. Mhm.
Titanic.
I just like people's look like you're a fucking idiot. I just love the look that people give you when you mispronounce like a word.
There's a movie.
especially a word that everybody knows. Yeah. Oh, did you see Titanic? What a great movie. Titanic.
No, I didn't see that.
No, it's good. Big boat sinks.
it makes me think of Hangover when he says he's a retard.
Yeah.
That's what I
Oh,
always think of Titanic. You do have some interesting pronunciations.
I do. Guys, we don't like talking about Donald Trump anymore. In fact, we're kind of stunned that we're still talking about him. We're also kind of stunned that somehow, like the founding fathers didn't sit around and go, guys, one day there's going to probably be a raging asshole who's the dumbest person, but also one of the biggest criminals we've ever known. We need to put something in to get rid of him.
Yeah.
Now we have the 14th Amendment. Doesn't seem to be working. Right? The 14th Amendment. And now we've got a guy with, I think, okay, he's got 91 felonies. I'm willing to say, if we put in the Constitution, if you have 5 felonies,
Yeah.
you can't be president. If we just brought it down to a limit,
Yeah.
you get 5 felonies.
I'll go 90.
Yeah, no. So in this specific situation, but 5. But 91 felonies, and he's got 4 indictments, and we don't want to talk about him anymore, but we have to. So we have, for the first time in American history, we have a president on trial for basically campaign finance shit, and we had the little Pecker's testimony. David Pecker. Come on. Look, we have a relative that changed their name just because they were just it was mildly connected to their parents.
Right.
This guy has walked the earth with the word Pecker.
That's what actually, when she was here this weekend, I said I would change my name, and she was like, "Yeah, it only costs like $400. It's pretty easy. I would never walk the earth."
And how old is he?
With
He's
the
had
name
it.
Pecker. Like
Pecker.
he for sure got his ass kicked in school a lot.
Yeah. So David Pecker got up and testified, and David Pecker basically flat out.
Say DP or David.
And this little Pecker got up and he said flat out that Trump had done, him and Michael Cohen face to face and made a deal with him to catch and kill all the negative stories and only print positive stories, which under campaign, so people go, why is that a crime? Well, because under campaign finance law, it's value. Like basically the Inquirer they sell about 300,000 magazines a week. So that's 1.2 million a month. So you're getting free advertising in a national magazine. And those stories also got picked up by other media. So you have to disclose that because that's worth something.
Yeah.
So basically Trump was not letting people know that he was getting free shit.
The fact that he was saying fake news, first of all, we could look at everything that Trump said and then go, okay,
projection.
He has been committed. We could forecast his crimes just based on everything that he claims other people are doing.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, okay, he did that. Okay, find that out.
He's lame about it too. He's lame about it.
It's
what are some of the shit he did that he did that he blamed other people for? He said Ted Cruz's, this was the Inquirer.
That was an interesting one.
Ted Cruz's dad had breakfast with Lee Harvey Oswald and they had a picture or something.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Ted Cruz is like, I don't even know what you're talking about.
Ted Cruz's dad had lunch with Lee Harvey
What
Oswald.
was
I think it could have been brunch.
What was
I don't
the
know. We don't
cover?
need the details.
I don't know.
Check the Inquirer.
What was the cover, though, that JFK's assassination...
Like Ted Cruz's dad was involved somehow?
Yeah, something. And nobody ever did anything. I was just listening to people talk about how it's interesting because Karen McDougal is coming up, the playmate who he had the almost, 9-month relationship with.
Can I point something out? That all it takes to get a playmate is money. All it takes is money with a woman like that. Because Trump, at that time, that wasn't that long ago. Wasn't attractive. Fat guy, orange, thinning hair.
She said she was in love with him.
Oh my God.
She said she thought he was in love with her.
Yeah, up until Forbes came out and said, yeah, he's not a billionaire. You know what?
I had no
my
idea
feelings have
what I was
changed.
going to say before. I had a whole point about Karen McDougal coming up.
Karen McDougal's coming out, sorry.
Now I don't remember.
Karen McDougal came forward.
Oh, he hasn't gone after Karen McDougal or Pecker. Sorry.
The Pecker.
And the theory on, because he goes after everyone, especially on True Social. He hasn't said a word about either one of them. And the theory is, I mean, you think you're in a 9-month, also Hope Hicks. He hasn't gone after Hope Hicks. And Hope Hicks, he loved so much that there were aides that were asked to dye their hair to be more like Hope's color. Like that was a whole thing.
Is that real?
Yes.
Wow.
Like he loved
No.
Hope Hicks. He still has not said a word about her, and she's going to testify as well. So the theory being that those people know more. Hope Hicks was always in the room with him. And so he doesn't want to poke the bear. That's what Andrew Weissman was just talking about.
And again, he only does it. He doesn't have shit on Christie. He doesn't have shit on Hope Hicks. He doesn't have shit on Karen McDougal. You got to remember these.
De Niro?
Robert
De Niro?
De Niro,
he never says anything about him.
He never says a word about De
And
Niro.
De Niro shreds his ass
De Niro's
every
like,
fucking. He
this
wakes
mook,
up.
This fucking mook.
Yes.
Like De Niro literally gets up, turns his
He's like-
camera on,
he's like,
and
"Fuck
starts
this guy."
screaming. Yeah, go, over
the
and
Oscars.
over and over at the Oscars on a worldwide audience. And Trump's like, never brings up De
He
Niro.
never says his name.
Know, well, I think why? Because at the
Mom.
the reality of it is that freaking Robert De Niro actually is connected.
Yeah.
Yes,
If
and
he
they like
wants to
him.
be.
The mob likes Robert De Niro.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
so
More so than
so
Trump.
all it would take for but by the way, this is again proves that Trump wants to be a monster, because all it would take is someone goes, because De Niro's just, you're right, for 7 years De Niro has shredded him. All it would take, hey Donald, what you should not do is not, Bobby, don't say anything about Bobby. Bobby's gonna do what he wants. Okay, cool, good.
But then Robert De Niro could just like make a wink or touch his ear or something. And then,
Yeah, what happened to Trump? He suicided himself. Hey,
He's buried at Mar-a-Lago.
He fell and suicided himself.
There's a monument on his golf course.
See, you were making this point in the Armageddon update that the reason why the Inquirer thing would have some validity is because who subscribes to it? Really gullible people and
Gullible, dumb
people that buy it. I would argue, and I've never thought that's what it was. Because a lot of people don't subscribe to it, but a lot of people grocery shop.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't, I think of all the times I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that cover. The one that really stood out to me the most. I've never bought it. I've never picked it up.
But you've seen the
But
cover.
I always stand and wait for the person in front of me, used to before I figured out delivery, and just stare at the thing while you're waiting, and you're looking at the crazy covers. And the one that really stuck with me was the one with a heavily doctored photograph of Hillary Clinton, and it was after she had that heat stroke thing when they were running against each other. And it said, doctors' medical records release, Hillary Clinton is dying.
She has months to live.
Yeah. And they made her look fatter and grayer and just, she looks crazy. And so stuff like that, whether most of us know the Inquirer's full of shit, but stuff just starts to seep in when you're inundated with it. It's just an idea that maybe Hillary Clinton's not healthy. Maybe she's not well.
It's a very good point.
They couldn't really publish it if it didn't have some truth, right?
Even if it's so outlandish, Hillary Clinton is having a Bigfoot alien baby, right? It's still, you're right, it erodes, even if it's total bullshit on the surface.
Even that one even that, right? That alien baby, you would go, huh. But the Hillary Clinton not well, it was often his catch and kill and the kill other people strategy was somewhat grounded in some reality that came out right after she collapsed.
That's what the Inquirer's great at, though. Then they have the crazy stories. There was another one with the Star and the Midnight Sun. There was other ones that were they were out of control.
Yeah.
The Inquirer had tried for a minute to kind of become journalistic, and they have crept over that way. So you do buy some of their stories, like they wanted to be people. Here's what I'll say. I think you're right. It's not just the 300,000 people that buy it every week. It's the 25 million that are waiting in line at the grocery store that are like, what?
That don't even buy it. They just see it.
It just gets sucked into their brain. Yeah.
And you'll watch people pick it up and just flip for a second, before. It's just surrounding people with fake news, which is what he accused everyone else of doing.
Yeah, he actually went to the fake news source and then had them make up fake news as he claimed everybody else was fake news.
I was today years old when I found out you could have a subscription to that magazine. You can have a subscription to that magazine?
Oh, really?
Did you say that? They'll deliver it.
It can get mailed to you?
That's what you said, right? Let's rewind the tape.
I don't listen to myself. Is this a tape? Are there tapes?
Yes. Can you hear the reels?
There's people. By the way, so here's why I've never picked up the Inquirer. I stopped reading People or In Touch. My ex used to have subscriptions to 3 of those magazines. And one day I had
explains a lot.
I had this thought where I was like, wow, there was a day I lost 100% respect for her. I was like, I can't, this is what you read. Like, this girl's always reading a book.
Yeah.
You know, I got books.
Yeah.
My ex only read People, In Touch, and whatever.
My ex had a Maxim magazine, and and I was like, this is great. She must be doing it for me.
Well, you're the dumbest person ever. Like, you should at least inquire. Why do you have all the sexy girls? And why is it, honey? Why, Mary? Why do you have this magazine full of sexy girls? And if it's for me, why is it dog-eared? Why did I get it when it was dog-eared? That's weird. So Trump's going to trial, and he's been in trial. And it's so funny. He gets out every day, and he bitches about how cold it is. Which they do for a reason. We do that in comedy clubs too, to keep people awake. You know, you don't want to get them too comfortable. Yeah. He looks like hell. I've never seen him look worse.
Yeah.
It looks like his face is sliding off his skull. He keeps saying, I'm going to testify. There's no way he's testifying.
He says that every time.
David Pecker was the first guy. And Lucille Ball. So
Lucy Balls would have been harder. Maybe she changed her name.
But David Pecker came out and said basically that he flat out admitted that it was 100%. He admitted doing it. I know David. I know. I can't even say it again. I know
DP.
I know DP basically agreed to be. They can't prosecute him. Because I don't know what he did illegally, though. Trump's the one who did it illegally because Trump is the one who's getting the free stuff. But I think what it comes
no one benefited but him.
Right.
All the stuff that these people go to jail for. Michael Cohen, sure, he's a sleazeball. We'll give you that. He didn't benefit in any way. He wasn't getting elected.
Do you know, guys,
he didn't get paid interest. He took a second on his home to pay Stormy Daniels.
By the way, here's what I don't get about
and then got reimbursed.
Listen, if you spent a day looking at news about Trump and the people he's worked with who have helped him, if you just spent a day looking at even 2 hours, you realize very quickly that this guy fucks everybody over.
Yeah.
Like, if you had a friend like that, he wouldn't be a friend.
You got to back the fuck out immediately.
What is it about the guy? He became president. But what is it about the guy that we see for 7 years? And all the people that he screwed over in his businesses, he just fucks people over left and right, and they still keep coming back. Bill Barr came out and goes, I'll vote for Trump again. Bill Barr, dude, you just talked mad shit about the dude. What are you talking about?
There actually is very good news today that we can all pray about. The Pennsylvania primary just happened, and Donald Trump won, of course, because he's the only one that's currently running. Won the Republican nomination. However, 156,000 and some odd registered Republicans voted for Nikki Haley, who left the race 7 weeks ago. The other interesting thing is that Pennsylvania is a closed primary. So whereas in other states it was an open primary and Democrats and independents skewed the numbers by going and voting for Nikki Haley, this was a closed primary. You had to be a registered Republican in order to vote. And so those are all registered Republicans who got in their cars and drove to the polling place to protest Donald Trump. And I thought it was interesting. Michael Steele, the former RNC chair, was saying that in his experience, people that were willing to make that effort during a primary, they're not people that are then going to stand back for the election and not vote, right? Those are people that are active participants in elections. So the question is, are they going to vote for Biden or give up and vote
what
for
people
him?
Don't quite understand about Biden is Biden, the progressive left had to pull Biden to them. Biden was like, Biden's always been very centrist. You know, he's been very
those
centrist.
those are his voters if he plays it right.
Yeah, and again, people go, "Why are you a Democrat, Titus, libtard?" This, I'm like, dude, I make more money every time Republicans. I was just looking at the records again because I go through it every once in a while, you know, because these right wingers on Threads or whatever, they'll be just like start going, "Man, he fucked up the economy." Go, no, he didn't. We had 5.1% growth last quarter. What are you talking about? You know, and then people go, "Well, you better off 4 years ago. You better off 4 years." Yeah, 4 years ago this week. Definitely. He said to ingest disinfectant to kill COVID. That's 4 years ago this week. He said that. We had 14.7% unemployment 4 years ago this week. We have 3.6 now. So another guy pointed out that gas price is so high. Gas prices before COVID were about the same as they are right now. They weren't lower. Gas went to $1.50 because after COVID, no one could drive. In Saudi Arabia, they actually went to a negative on the oil markets, went to negative. They were just giving people oil. It was less than $0 a barrel. Now, guys, if you want 5,000 Americans dying so you can actually get cheap gas, you're an asshole. you're a long
commute.
Yeah,
we could lose a couple.
That's valid. That's a good point. Can't sit in traffic every day. You know what? Yeah. Do it anyway. So I think we are better off than 4 years ago, and the economy's still booming. I mean, we're still doing great.
It looks like the polls for Biden are creeping up. He's ahead, from what I'm hearing in some areas, and he just pulled a nice Obama joke recently about the bleach thing. So that's a good tactic.
Yeah, get on it. He has been crapping on Trump. What did he say yesterday?
About the bleach thing, he said, I don't know if it was yesterday.
And then he also said something about, well, he's been ripping on him. So look, I hope he has someone on staff, like a writer from The Daily Show. That would be awesome because he needs that. Yeah. But he's been body slamming Trump. Look, I don't want to talk about this guy anymore. I'll be honest with you. He is in a court right now. I think this is the least of the trials. You guys got to remember, this is just the one where Christian and evangelicals, listen to this. This is the one where he slept with a porn star and paid her off. And he slept with her because his wife had just had a baby and she was taking care of it. So, and then the other one was a Playboy playmate.
Also married during that.
He was married during that too. So you evangelicals, that's your guy.
She also had said on CNN in an interview, and she's extremely credible, Karen McDougal, she's told Anderson Cooper that she loved him and that she would fly to see him when he wasn't with Melania, and he would have her pay for the flights and then he would pay her back. And she said, why? Anderson said, why? And she said, to conceal the fact that we were together and to not have my plane tickets on his card or whatever. And he said, did you know that? And she said, of course. I knew that's what he was doing.
Yeah, she's really upstanding. Really upstanding.
You know what Trump also said?
And she's totally credible.
Well, she is, because then they said, well, why do you think he did that? And she goes, I can't tell you why he did things. I couldn't answer that. I can just tell you what we did. You know, I just thought as a witness, you believe her. Whatever you think of her character is one thing, but.
Well, also, I mean, anybody that comes forward at this point with everybody who gets attacked, I mean, all Trump does is put their name in a Truth Social post, and all of a sudden those people again, like there's how many jury people have now said there's one that's single. I think she's a single woman, I think, and she's just like came to the judge. She's like, I'm kind of scared. I'm by myself and I don't know. And that's a mobster. That's not a guy. That's not a politician. That's a fucking mobster. And I'd ask Jeffrey Epstein if he was or not, but you can't. So we are to the point now where we've got this criminal. And again, why are we letting him run? Like, okay, listen, we are all Americans. We all have freedom of speech. We all get to do it all. But this guy's obviously a fucking criminal. Yeah. And you know what else I'm tired of? I'm tired of both sides. They all do it. Then really? Okay, how many? So Biden's got 91 felonies charged against him. He's got, Biden stole top secret nuclear documents. You got to remember that Mike Pence and Joe Biden, the second that came up, they went through their shit and was like, do we have anything we shouldn't have?
I mean, Biden's did pay off some porn stars, but they were flapper girls. So they were.
It was in the 20s. Yes,
they actually just lowered their dress a little. And
scandalous.
The old 23 skidoo controversy. Yeah. I remember this.
All of Biden's
took off their
cabinet still works for him. If they didn't, they're still campaigning for him. I think is one I can think of. None of Trump's cabinet want to work for him again, and they're all actively out telling people that if they vote for him,
you're going to end America.
Yes, it will end democracy.
So,
or they're in jail.
And yet the dumb people, the what do you call them? The dum-dums? What do you call them? The dummies?
The stupids.
The big stupids. The big stupids keep going. That's our guy. Mitch McConnell, by the way, came out against and said that the reason that Ukraine didn't get aid was because he goes, this all started with Tucker Carlson demonizing Ukraine. And you want to grab Mitch McConnell and go, you fuck.
Yeah.
I go, I don't know why you think you're going to fix your reputation in the last 2-3 years of your life.
Yeah.
You scumbag. You actually held Obama's. We wouldn't have a Supreme Court. Women would still have the right to abortion if not for you.
Yeah.
You are not going to be held up as a patriot. You're going to be held up as a partisan hack who basically did everything he could to ruin America. So don't start backing off now, bro. Just write it to the end, you piece of
Well, it is the end for
garbage.
Well, Tucker Carlson, look, he did an interview, which I said to my dad when he was here this weekend, and he was like, what? Where Putin says, where he runs over there to kiss his butt, and Putin says World War II was started because Poland refused to give up their land like they were asked to do. And Tucker goes, yeah.
It's all Poland's fault, World War II. All Poland.
So Ukraine aid did get passed, which is good news. Also good news, this episode brought to you by Harry's.
Oh, that was clean. That was a clean, simple segue.
Just good news. We love Harry's. Exceptional products, honest prices, Harry's razors, and not just Harry's razors, Harry's everything.
I stopped on the way home last night and picked up my Harry's body wash because I was out.
Yes, you did.
I will tell you this about Harry's. We are 5-6 years into Harry's products
More
now?
than that.
7 years. I have never, to this day, have not had a better razor.
Nope.
To this day.
The same razor.
Yeah, the same. All right, tone down. We don't want to lose an ad. But they do last. The blades last a long time.
Yes.
5 surgical blades. By the way, people, they are, I've never, I still, to this day, I still go, I'll shave and I'll go Ray.
He still does. He did last week. But he also only has to shave like once a week.
It's also because
the shave is incredible, but all the products, the thing that's still, because everything is getting expensive, corporate greed is out of control. And I am still blown away when I go on Harry's website to buy stuff. I end up buying a bunch of stuff because it's so affordable. It's like the only company I can say that I go look at and go, oh, it's still, what? That body wash, it's $7? Like, what?
They kept the price like the same from when they started.
And it's big sizes and it's great quality. I love the redwood smell for the body wash. You use the hair paste. We have the hairspray. We have the hair gel. We have the shave gel.
Okay, the hair paste is like better than any hair paste I've ever used.
I need to take a picture.
And you got to remember, I got to take this.
Yeah.
So I have, because they're gone a lot. People, if you need hair paste, when you see Harry's, grab one. Right consistency, everything. So I have a stack of 4 under the sink now. And I was like, I went, I'm 2 away from going to get more.
Yeah, he hoards.
Oh my God.
He hoards.
That's a little OCD.
I'm going to keep, hey, in the apocalypse, I'm wearing this haircut. They're going to go, Titus. Yes, exactly.
He hoards. Like their deodorant, for example, extra strength, high quality deodorant, $5. Like, where is that happening?
How are they managing to do
like
that?
A boutique type company like this? And they ship it to you. I don't even understand how they do it, but you guys got to go look at their prices. Highly recommend for Easter baskets, stocking stuffers. It's
another reason you should buy Harry's, because what Harry's did was show us that these other giant companies are screwing us. Harry's doesn't screw you. The prices are good. The quality is always good. It's like it's a win-win. I was going through my under my sink where we keep all our stuff. It's all Harry's.
Everything. We're totally in, and it's just like, it smells good. It's not perfumey. It doesn't have that like uber fake chemically.
You can't find the Harry's lotion. You have to order.
Oh, they're sold out a lot.
Yeah.
That lotion is really good, and it's like this big. It's crazy.
You get a fire hose.
Also, don't forget that they have the no risk trial. So if you don't like it, you can send it back, and it's on them, which is I love because they stand behind their products. Getting ripped off is not fun, so switch to Harry's. Get started with a $13 trial set. In that trial set, you will get a 5-blade razor, a weighted handle, foaming shave gel, and a travel cover for just $3 at harrys.com/bombshell. That's harrys.com/BOMBSHELL for your $3 trial set.
Good stuff. Go get it. What else is going on in the news? So how does the aid get to Ukraine? Did they just start shipping it? Supreme Court is hearing some abortion stuff, emergency abortion. Trump had his contempt hearing yesterday. The judge during that hearing told his lawyer that he was losing all credibility. The lawyer at one point said, "You never mentioned reposting in your gag order." And the guy was like, well, that's really, like, wow, that's a side eye right there.
That's when he said, "You're losing all credibility here."
So in the order where he says you can't talk shit about people, yeah, he didn't talk shit. He reposted someone else who talked shit. It's different.
Yeah.
Dude, you need to get out of my courtroom is what I would have said.
He said he was waiting to release that finding. What I'm assuming, Alvin Bragg said that they were asking for money for each time, but
yeah,
the
but
thing is, it's not going to hurt.
$1,000, $1,000 is not
Yeah.
going to hurt him. Maybe like if it cost me $1,000 to talk shit, Trump will do that all day.
Yeah.
And then he won't pay it. Anyway.
Oh, he'll pay it, but what does that matter to him?
The Supreme Court, by the way, has to. Okay, here's the thing about abortion. So what the Republicans did not think was going to happen once abortion got outlawed or got knocked down or Roe died, they thought that what was going to happen was no one was going to make a big deal out of it. And this is when I go back to why I am still a Democrat. Republicans do not believe women are people. They actually don't believe that women have rights. There was a guy in Congress that tried to introduce a bill, maybe one of the states, that basically he wants to repeal the 19th Amendment, which gave the women the right to vote. Yep. He wants to repeal it. Yes. He says because women, that's what ruined the American family, was giving women the right to vote. So
the American family structure, because back then men always came home and sat down and listened to the woman's opinion about who she thought, and then he
after she made him dinner
opinion, and then
raised the kids.
He had to go place the vote because
on her behalf.
Yeah,
I understand.
It's a whole, everybody contributed.
Okay.
So now what they've but this totally makes sense. So basically what they've done is they've told half of the American population, you don't have the right to your own body. Well, the party that did that is going to be
aborted.
Mother effed. Yes, mother effed. They're going to be entirely aborted in the next election. They know that. So now this guy introduces, hey, let's don't let them vote anymore. They just keep doubling down on evil, stupid shit. And then they wonder why everybody hates them. They wonder, like Ted Cruz is starting to look like, oh, okay, he's one of the good Republicans. Mitt Romney said something about, Mitt Romney is, he's so Mormon shade. He goes, I don't know. I guess you don't pay somebody $130,000 to not have sex with you. He said,
did he say that? Oh shit!
Romney, Mormon. I'm like, bro, all right, come on, Mitt, drop it.
I like that.
Yeah. Is he retired? Is he out of politics now?
He's leaving.
Yeah.
Arizona House has voted to overturn that 1860 whatever abortion ban, which would pave way to leave the 15-week limit in place. It's fun to watch Carrie Lake flip-flop back and forth. Day to day, I saw a montage of what she says about abortion.
Trump too.
Thank God we've got this old anti-abortion law that we can just bring back in place. And then like 2 days later, this is not what the people want. Nobody would ever vote for that. That's horrible. Women need the right to choose what happens with their own bodies. The next day, an interview. I'm pro-life. Nobody should be allowed to have an abortion.
There was a report that she got body slammed by the RNC. The RNC was like, you cannot be pro-choice. And so what's weird is, listen, I would much rather have a guy who I didn't agree with that had beliefs, that literally had integrity with what he believed. Yeah. That I knew what he was going to say.
You can deal with that.
Yeah, I can. Exactly. Yes. I can deal with that. You know who never changes their mind? I hate his guts. Rand Paul. At least you can go, Rand Paul is always going to be that douchebag. Always. Yeah. He's not going to stop.
You can't hit a moving target.
Marco Rubio, he switches back and forth. Ted Cruz switches back and forth. All these guys switch back and forth. You know who didn't? Romney. Well, I take that back. Romney. But even John Kerry, who's a Democrat, the reason I didn't vote for John Kerry is because in the primaries, because John Kerry would switch to whatever the fucking news said, whatever the poll said, he'd switch his opinion. I'm like, listen, wouldn't you rather lose if you're running for office, lose on your beliefs or win on your beliefs than just shift it up and be a scumbag? Because Carrie Lake's a scumbag. She's a scumbag. Like she's evil. She's still, she got thrown out of court this last week again. She's still fighting about being the governor.
She tells people she is the governor of Arizona.
Okay, again.
Oh my gosh, she's like female Trump.
Yeah.
No, that's mental illness. Trump's, by the way, when are we going to start calling it what it is? If you lost the election and you continue for what, 2 years after saying you won it, they should just, we need to put you in a jacket and take you and put you away.
And if you took it to your conservative court, which just voted for this 1800s abortion ban, and they even declined to hear it, there was so little evidence. It's time to go back to the drawing board. You were also running against somebody who was widely known in Arizona because she had been the Secretary of State.
It's time to get therapy and start taking antipsychotics because you're still saying shit that Trump had 61 court cases thrown out. His own people, the cyber ninjas that he paid to go over every vote,
that was embarrassing.
Found more votes for Biden. You guys are psychotic. It's not just, you're not just being dickheads. You're not just being like, I'm just going to keep fighting this. You're actually mentally ill. And I don't want people mentally ill running the country.
Trump is actually truthing, speaking of delusion and mental illness, that police have turned away thousands of people from the Manhattan courthouse, and that supporters have tried, but they cannot get near the courthouse because there's 10 people out there with little paper towel signs and a kazoo.
It's like his inauguration photo.
So Lawrence O'Donnell had cameras out there, and there was one guy holding a Trump banner. One guy. No traffic impediments at all. Nothing. Absolutely nobody showing up. And he pointed out, he goes, look, if you love this guy so much, countrywide, whether you're in Alabama or Tennessee or whatever, wouldn't you be showing up at that courthouse too? Nobody's showing up. I think there is a point when we all go, look, we've all had a friend like that. That's your friend. And then he does some wrong shit. And then he does some wrong shit. And you're still his friend. Then you do some more wrong shit. Then you do some more wrong shit. Then something else happens. And there's a point after 10 wrong things, you're like, yeah, that guy's not coming over to the party.
I'm going to let him
let him figure his life out.
We're doing that as a society. We should be able to easily ignore the Carrie Lake and the Trump. By this point, we should, no cameras, nothing. Just ignore them forever. No more fucking giving shit about their posts. No more putting the cameras in front of them or mics in front of their fucking face. They get nothing. They're out of society. Goodbye.
But here's the problem.
It's left-wing media that's helped.
I mean, but fame is a drug. I know. Fame's a drug. You get famous, you fly and doing, people are putting a microphone in your face. What's your opinion? What do you give a shit? It's funny to me. Ari Melber, by the way, is a guy that brings on the news, brings on some of the people. I'm just like, why are you even asking these people's opinions? I don't need it. It had drinks the other night on the news. And I'm like, when did the news is also addicted to fame now. Yeah. So the news has now become this thing. And I'm talking left-wing news and right-wing news. Tucker Carlson, what's the guy on Fox now? That's just Waters.
Jesse Waters.
Oh my God. And Grunberg, they've all become so fucking sycophantic fame whores. All of them. And I'm not talking, you know who's kept her head about her? Rachel Maddow. Kept her fucking head about her. You know, who else has kept it together?
I like Nicole Wallace.
Nicole Wallace. I would say Stephanie Ruhle has kept her head about her. I like
Stephanie Ruhle.
And there's a couple guys on Fox that literally every once in a while you'll read so-and-so says Trump's full of shit. You're like, what? And I'm like, what? Mm-hmm. But what ends up happening is the news has stopped being the news. When Walter Cronkite and Dan Rather came out, they just fucking told you what was going on. And there was also, I'll say it again, people, please remember this and tell everybody and tell your local politicians. We had a thing called the Fairness Doctrine where you literally had to tell the truth or you were fined by the FCC. And you had to give an opposing opinion. You couldn't just be all right-wing and you couldn't be all left-wing. You had to kind of show the middle ground in both sides. Reagan killed it, like he killed our education and healthcare and mental health systems.
And the fact that the news is it's been privatized, that it's owned by, like 3 rich white dudes, right? So it's all skewing towards corporate.
Let's just call it Rich White Dude News. Hi, welcome to Rich White Dude News. Guess what? White people, Still hate immigrants. Back to you, Steve.
This episode brought to you by AG1. I tried. I waited. They just wouldn't shut up. So AG1, another product that we love, that we use every single day.
Yep.
I was doing a scoop before I work out, but I started doing it in my smoothies. Because I was watching this video on Instagram of this fitness person that I love, that I work out with a lot, on Peloton. And she was saying AG1 is by far the best powder. She uses that one. She put it in her smoothie. And so I started trying her smoothie recipe, and it's awesome.
People who know AG1, man.
People who are experts in the industry.
But also when you get, so these athletes who have such finely tuned bodies, here's the thing I've noticed since I've started working out more, that I notice when I'm eating way more than I used to. If I eat something really that's bad for me, my body reacts weird to it. Huh. Remember when you were training for the fitness show and you eat something bad?
Very sensitive. Yeah.
So your body gets healthier and healthier and healthier. Then it gets more sensitive to the crap instead of it. So AG1, I do notice a specific difference.
Yeah, I do too.
You know,
and it's high quality. I think they've had like 52 different iterations. They're always perfecting and reformulating and making it better. They source, test, and find the best quality ingredients available. Industry leading manufacturing, rigorous testing. I love that. They actually go beyond what industry standards are for this type of product. You just take a scoop of it, you put it, it's so good in your smoothie. It's good. It doesn't taste bad. It doesn't make it's a fruit smoothie, and it doesn't taste green at all.
It never tastes like leaves or grass clippings. I will say that. It's awesome. 75 vitamins and adaptogens.
Minerals, adaptogens, whole food sourced, superfood ingredients, probiotics, prebiotics. You don't have to take all those pills anymore. You get fiber, you get magnesium, you get all the stuff that you need to support your body to be the best that it can possibly be.
In a scoop.
And you will notice it after you do it. If you want to replace your multivitamin and all those other pills, start with AG1. Try AG1 and you'll get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3K2, which is a dropper that I also put in that smoothie, and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first subscription at drinkag1.com/Titus. That's drinkag1.com/Titus. Check it out.
I want to talk about the Ukraine thing, and Mike Johnson is it's weird to watch Democrats kind of come out and go, by the way, guys, Mike Johnson had the balls to actually, because they're going to vote him out. The Republicans are going to take this dude out because they wanted Russia to get. I don't understand when the Republican Party started supporting Russia. Man, the reason Reagan was so popular was because he went against Russia. I don't understand what happened unless Putin is sending them money. I don't understand.
No, it's he's been pumping Russian disinformation. Our intelligence found basically like call centers in St. Petersburg in Russia, where he has people sitting in there 24 hours a day, massive buildings, not a little. And they're on our social media. They're on, putting out news stories, and it's all fake. We tracked it back since before the last election. Them interfering. They're all over Facebook. They're all over Gab. They're all over X. I mean, we had a bipartisan Senate intel report come out detailing this and showing specific instances where right-wing news outlets picked up fake news stories from some Russian person sitting in that call center.
President Carter, Jimmy Carter, who is made of wood at this point, said
he's
that
he's a Highlander. He is a Highlander.
He's been in hospice for like 150 days.
He's got the record.
He's actually killed 2 hospice nurses. That's how long he's been in hospice.
They died taking care of him.
They died of old age taking care of Jimmy Carter.
And he built the building again.
Chuck Norris won't fight him. That's how badass Jimmy Carter is.
He said that it was all Russian interference is the reason that Trump even won in the first place back in 2016.
These
which
people don't
corroborates
even
all that.
know that they're parroting Russian talking
on Fox
points,
News.
Which is, it's what I said to him years ago. Putin plays a long game. That's KGB strategy. They play the long game. So while we're busy looking at shiny objects over here, he's just inundating us. And you look at what has happened to us since this has all started, how divided we are. I've never seen
They've
us
gotten
this
better at
divided.
it too. You remember like when it first started?
Yes.
It was like, being American is great for me to be American. I like being patriot American. And
Super good.
Trump super number one. What? And you're like, all right, bro, you got to stop. Now they're better.
You did used to call them out. Susan 1057279. And they also got better at not putting long numbers.
Amerikansky number one person lives in Ohio. No, that's not a tag, bro. You can't call yourself that.
America number. Did you say number one ski? You know, I go to visit my dad, and my stepmom is on Gab constantly, and she told me last time that Putin was a better man than most of all of our politicians.
Don't pop off to Ray like that, though. Don't pop off. Ray does his podcast. Ray keeps up with stuff. We keep up with stuff, and it did not go well for her.
No. But who would have ever thought that we would have people that call themselves conservative in our country parroting what Putin wants them to say and saying Putin was a good man? And then Tucker Carlson, same thing. He rushes over there and has sex with bread in the supermarket and marvels at how wonderful everything is, that they have carts that you can actually put on a track and the cart will go up into the store. He's doing this whole
So he's never been to Target.
He hasn't shopped
we were like,
since the 70s.
When I moved here in 06,
or the 50s.
Target had that. Like, what? And he's standing, wasn't he, in a grocery store going, this place is incredible, and just marveling at how wonderful Russia is, and then goes and sits down with Putin and agrees that the World War started because Poland just wouldn't.
So
be
here's what I'll
nice.
tell you. There is a thing going on in that. So you got to remember how much money Putin siphons from the Russian population. I mean, it is siphoned. These guys all have $200, $300 million
the
yachts.
oligarchs, yep.
The oligarchs, they just fucking... So if, let's say you have... Because they think Putin is the richest person. The reports are that Putin is the richest person on the planet, which is literally $400-500 billion.
Yeah.
He's worth that much money. So if you had $500 billion and Tucker Carlson got fired from Fox... Right? Mm-hmm. So, well, Tucker Carlson's no longer, I can just pay him. So I'm going to, hello, Tucker, how are you? I'm going to give you $10 million and you come over, you do some commercials for us, you take good things, $10 million.
He kind of punked him after, though.
He punked him during the interview. And then after he talked shit about him,
I thought he was going to come and ask me intelligent, difficult questions. He did not.
So, but then again, if you take Tucker Carlson, that's the one thing about being a conservative is that money takes over it seems to be in the history of being conservative Republican, money will take the place of integrity over and over. And I don't want to live like that.
That's why they're so pro-corporate.
I'd like to try if anyone's interested.
By the way, not even 10 million. Ray?
No. That's fine. 10%.
Just for a couple shoes and...
No, I need more than a couple shoes because that would only be one pair.
Oh, gotcha.
Because you have two shoes, which is a couple.
Right.
Yeah. So I need a couple shoes.
So 2 pairs of shoes on the way already.
No. Ayo. This episode brought to you by OneSkin.
The best moisturizer system that you have ever got for me. I enjoyed it.
Aw.
It's good.
You do like it a lot. And I just ran out of...
And I ran out. And mine too. I was like, I kept pumping.
If
I pump it 300 times, it'll come out.
I just gave you the eye cream again.
Yeah, no.
2 days ago, he came out like, well, nothing. What do I do? Nothing's coming out.
There's tools here. This is a poor guy talking. You can cut it open. Just cut it open.
Oh, I mean, I have
done that
box
before,
cutter.
There's a half of the bottles in there.
That's true.
Still,
that's a valid point.
The thing about OneSkin, though,
and he fucking like ketchup.
OneSkin, I've actually done that and used the Q-tip.
Yes.
They have refills, so you can actually just pull that cartridge out and save a few bucks by buying the refill, which I really like. I also have just run out of the face, the OS1 face.
OS1 stuff is good.
And it is not, it was a scary thing for me because I thought I had a backup and I didn't, because it feels as non-chemically and clean to me. That's my take on it. It has no fragrance. It has no weird stuff. And so my skin doesn't have a reaction to it. Like a lot of stuff.
Like I'll put it on and even this 4 or 5 hours later, I touch I'm like, oh my God, I'm dewy.
Yeah. It's not made of ground up tires.
Actually. You're glowy. Mother's Day is coming up. So this is a great time to show appreciation for your mom because I promise she's going to love it. Or if you're a mom, buy it for yourself. It's time you do something for yourself. My niece was here this weekend. She's got a brand new baby, Seamus.
Seamus, little boy.
He loves when Uncle Titus does that. He's this big. But boy, when he does that accent, he was like, he just stared at him with the biggest smile. He talked to him for a long time like that. But you really see how moms don't have time, or it's all about this little life.
That's why I tell people, don't have a baby for a while. Wait till you got your shit together, because if you don't have your shit together, a baby's not going to help you get your shit together.
Right. They just shit. They
so
just bring
the
more
secret
shit.
to all the skincare, the face, the body, the eye cream, the prep, is that it has that proprietary OS1 peptide that has been proven. It's the first ingredient ever proven to switch off the aging cells that cause lines, wrinkles, and thinning skin. They've done several studies that back it up. You can go look at those on their website. I've been using it for a while. I'm pretty hooked on it. I love the body as well.
I've noticed it.
And I'm using the cleanser, which I really like too. Very, very, very clean. I see a change. You just did your eye sparkle at me, and I do see a change.
Ah, yes, you do.
You are Dewey. 12-week clinical study that they
Which
did.
is one of Donald Duck's nephews, by the way. Huey, Dewey, and Louie.
Wrinkles diminishing 87% of users. I'm just going to go right past that. Huey, Dewey, and Louie. OneSkin is the world's first skin longevity company by focusing on the cellular aspects of aging. It gets rid of those dead, senescent zombie cells. OneSkin keeps your skin looking and acting younger for longer. Get started today. You get 15% off if you use code Titus at oneskin.co. That's 15% off at oneskin.co with promo code Titus. After you purchase, they do say at the end, how did you hear about us? Make sure that you tell them that you heard it from us so that they'll keep advertising so that we can keep having a promo code.
Right on. Can I talk about advertising? By the way, guys, if you're going to advertise on the Titus podcast, know that we're going to be funny with your product. We're not going to ever disrespect your product, but we will be funny. No, don't cut this. We want people to advertise on it.
I can't have dueling directions of cuts.
You have to understand. You have to understand that we're going to. I'm not going to talk about specifics. I'm just saying we will have fun with your product. But by the way,
it's not that. It's that sometimes it goes a little far. Like Harry Hitler, for example.
Okay, all right. Okay, all right. We've pulled back. We know we have a line
Legendary.
now.
They actually talk about that at their annual meetings.
At the conference. They were like, hey, you know what, guys?
Let's exhibit A.
Here's
the Titus podcast.
Here's too far. Okay, I know we're too far.
Listen, every year they have a big annual meeting, and they're like, and
let's
now
give you an
let's
example
go to the
of what
tape.
not to do.
Trump's immunity stuff decision should be coming out. With the Supreme Court.
Do you know the Supreme Court right now? I've never in my life seen such a corrupt, full of shit Supreme Court with those 6 judges, five judges. Here's why. We've got one guy. We've got proven Alito and Thomas have taken gifts from billionaires repeatedly.
Bribes. Let's call them bribes.
Okay, all right. Let's be gifts. You're right. Bribes. Bribes. Didn't report them and then said, well, we don't have any ethics levels. Really? The Supreme Court doesn't have any ethics rules. That seems odd.
When you sign up, when you apply
Satan doesn't have ethics rules. You guys are supposed to. Yeah, that's how that works.
They design the ethics.
You're in charge of the ethics.
They're the ethics on the ethics.
And you don't get any? That seems like bullshit. So now they have a problem because they're saying that they want to vote for Trump, right? If you think the people that he put on the court, right? They'd be leaning towards Trump because he gave them the job.
I don't know. They voted against him several times in election stuff.
The problem is if they say he has immunity, Jack Smith's case is over.
If they say he has immunity, that means Biden can have him killed while he's still president.
Oh, there's an upside. All right, guys, you got the upside.
And we can just move it right along. Like, oh no, Biden, oopsie.
Yeah,
do whatever crime you want.
Biden had an opponent killed, but he has immunity. We're good.
Yeah.
They said it.
Hey. It's not a joke. It's not a joke. It's not a joke. If I have immunity, I'm killing him. Not a joke. It's not a joke.
Come on, man. Come on, man. Finish him. I got to get some ice cream.
Come on, man. Come on, man. The thing that bothers me most about it is that they refuse to hear it on an expedited basis. So it's completely stalled Jack Smith's case. So we're getting closer and closer to an election. That's in November. Why aren't we expediting this?
But maybe that's all they can. Maybe. And this is what I'm hoping. maybe they know that they are so jammed up against the wall on presidential immunity. You can't steal top secret government documents and claim immunity. You can't. So maybe they're like, what can we do to help him? The best we can do is hold it off.
Yes, delay.
Also, the lower court shredded him. So people are saying, well, does them taking it up mean that they don't agree? And the general consensus right now is no, because there's no constitutional basis for this. So
at all.
They need to weigh in because this is not going to go away. And he's trying immunity in all of his cases. So it could be good. But if they say presidential immunity is a thing, then
I love
Biden
the guy who was
anti-vax
keeps bitching about immunity. It's really kind of fucked up. It's really kind of fucked up. Dude, immunity, you keep saying the word immunity now. You were talking about it before. You didn't believe in it. Now you believe in immunity? Seems weird. Seems weird.
The thing is with him, delay. And it works every time.
And I say this, and I'll say it again. If you knew you were innocent of the crimes they have accused you of, wouldn't you want to go to court today? Bring your evidence. I have my evidence. I am totally innocent. But this turd knows that he is 100% guilty, has been guilty his entire life. Nixon's DOJ brought him up on charges with his father. Nixon.
I don't even think he understands.
Nixon's a criminal. Nixon put him and his dad on trial.
He's been criming for so long. It's just the way he lives. He doesn't even know.
The justices that he put on the court, Amy Coney Barrett, Kavanaugh, Gorsuch, they all have voted against him several times, specifically as it pertained to his 2020 election case, which they declined to even have before them. They just sent a letter that said "nerp," but they've ruled against him several times. So
did Clarence Thomas send it? Nerp.
Clarence Thomas never says nerp. That's his problem. He's always yerp.
Yeah.
He's yerp. He's no nerp.
Sir, would you like to go on a yacht trip?
Yerp.
Sir, would you like to go to our villa in the south of France?
Yerp.
Would you like these
RV?
Hitler statues?
Who wants a new RV? Yerp. He's by far the worst guy. And I remember I was a kid when that whole Anita Hill thing came up. And I remember my dad, who was very, 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 very like that with women. And he was classier than a pubic hair on a Coke can thing. But I remember my father going, this guy does not need to be on the Supreme Court. Like, at least my dad was sleazy, but he did it in a classy way. Can I be clear about that?
I mean,
that's not
okay.
He was sleazy with women in a classy way.
Sleazy.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
exactly.
Yeah.
No, he was classy.
I don't know about that.
He was being sleazy, but using class to be sleazy.
Coming from a woman, having heard things about your dad, I would argue.
Nerp.
Nerp. Especially like if a woman gained a pound and they called her fat.
That was a weird thing he did, and I saw him do it repeatedly.
It's not weird.
No. He would do it, but he would do it.
Do you hear how he compartmentalizes a little bit? With
it really reframes it.
Listen,
yeah, he really did.
Listen,
weird.
I have a room in my head of childhood trauma that will never be opened. It has been welded shut by a Chinese dissident. Sorry, the Chinese government has welded it shut, and it will never be opened up again. That trauma will die in that room, banging on the doors, screaming for help. But it will never be dealt with. Just know that.
Yep.
We're working on it. Yeah.
Were you done explaining away how your father told
my
women they were fat?
My dad, it was a weird deal. I think a lot of it had to do with drinking. And now that I'm 110 days not drinking, I will say this: there's a clarity and a calm and a lack of anxiety that I have that's crazy. Like and I know who I am. Confident. It's really interesting. So, but my dad would be the smoothest, most loving, caring, complimentary, got your back to these women, and then they move in, and within 6 months,
once they were trapped,
once they were in the house and they had nowhere to go, he would go, "The shit did you cook tonight?" And I remember, that's why I eat so fast. Yeah. And then he would go like, "You gained like 7 pounds. Why don't you get on a treadmill? Why don't you go running?" And he would come home drunk and angry. And I don't know what that
How did
was
he
about.
gauge the weight though? Maybe like
Dude,
calibrate
I don't
eyes?
know.
I don't understand.
I know that's what I was. I was like, I'm a kid. I'm like, she looks exactly the same as she's been looking since you met her. And
built-in scale on the floor. How did
he would just be a dick, and I never
This
understood.
is the guy with the little chicken legs and the big beer belly.
I never
and
understood.
smelling socks.
Yeah,
he was smelling their socks.
I never
to gauge their weight.
and
Ha-ha.
smelling socks.
I forgot
right.
about that. We had to explain that. My father
We
would
did
do this
last week.
Oh,
We told the
we cleared
story.
it up. Okay, for people that were listening to, my father used to see if he was sick or not. He'd come home, take his shoes off, take his socks off, and he'd smell his socks and see if he was sick. And I was like, what? I never understood. I go, why do you do that? He goes, I will see if I'm sick or not. He told me that. I'm like, that's the weirdest shit.
Never heard any doctor ever. Let me show me. Let me
Why-
see if he, lift them feet
Why
up.
do you think I know? What do you think would have clued me in that someone else smelled their socks?
I don't smell my socks.
Mhm.
I
Poochie.
do not.
You? This is you.
We need evidence. Get the evidence. You'll have it. It's on your phone somewhere.
All right, all right. If you can film me doing it, you can put it on
Just
my
the
Instagram.
back of your head, and you're like, what?
Yours is not.
I've got cancer. My liver's failing.
I gotta stop drinking.
That would be crazy if it worked. I'd be like,
I got Parkinson's.
I'm sorry.
His socks are shaking. Is that what you did? You're good.
She did it instantly. When
He goes, you did it? Good. Yeah, yeah. Okay.
That sounds like a sketch. Come on, we'll cut this.
Just
Sketch.
weird witchy
Weird
ways where
ways
people
to
figure if they were
discover their
sick or not.
sickness, yeah.
It is a witchy way. It is that. Some of them work. I think I've told you guys, Grandma always, for Charlie horses in your legs, like if you wake up in the middle of the night with calf Charlie horses, she would always say, put a bar of ivory soap in the foot of the bed. And when she passed away and we were cleaning off her bed and folding, broke my heart. A wrapped piece of ivory soap fell out onto the floor because she had it.
Oh, wow.
But she swore by it. And so I tried it when I was having them and didn't have them. So I don't know.
This ad brought to you by Placebo.
What?
It's one of those things where when I would be sick and we'd go on the road and people that are listening right now are going, it works. They would tell me to put Vicks on the bottom of my feet.
And then put socks on.
And then go to sleep. And that works. And I've heard that all over.
I can see that one though, because of the sensation of the chilling.
No, that's no,
icy hot.
No,
like icy
that's
hot,
not
right?
for my Charlie horses. That's to get rid of a cold or a flu. Yes.
Through the feet.
Yes.
Well,
you know that
did you
there are a
smell the
lot.
foot
There's a
first
lot
with
of
the sock?
See, it all connects. See, you see how all this comes together.
There's a lot of Chinese medicine.
like
the
a
idea
mapping.
that everything goes through your feet, and that you can buy those pads that actually pull toxins out of your feet.
That is so. I read a thing about this because I was like, "What is that?" It's not. Basically, what happens is there is an oxidation effect. Those pads have a chemical on them that sweat reacts to, and it turns black because of an oxidation
Not
effect.
according to your father.
So it's fake.
Mine did like a Spider-Man comic book would come off of it.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Look at it! Look at it's Bazooka Joe.
It's Funky Winkerby.
Wow, nice. We're old. Wow, we're old as shit. Exactly. Hagar the Horrible.
Oh, I remember that vaguely.
Yeah.
He was like a big
Portly
man
fella?
in a loin
Yes.
Yeah.
or
With
that.
Big man in a loincloth. I think you're thinking of Jesus.
No, I remember he had a thing.
Did you see that?
He walked around
Like
with
a club? No, an axe. I think it was an axe.
spear?
There's a lot of people.
It was
Amalgamation.
a stick with a stone wrapped on it.
Oh,
Okay, yeah, it was like a hammer.
Can I say something like
Oh,
that?
actually, it was a shield.
Can I say this? There was something that someone came out
And a spear.
with the research has done all this. What did Jesus really look like? Because in houses, in Midwest houses across America, Jesus looks like Brad Pitt with long hair
and blue eyes.
Yeah. Looks like and it's in blue eyes and white pale skin.
Yeah.
Jesus, they said that Jesus, and this makes sense, that Jesus was probably hunchbacked. He was he was small, and and by the way, and I thought about it. Of course, that would be the guy you would listen to, because some guy shows up looking like Brad Pitt with long hair, looking like a Doobie Brother. You're like, the fuck this guy.
I've never heard hunchback, but
short
or short. But for sure,
had a mo haircut.
he was not white. I mean, that
100%, right.
there was you What?
Yeah.
Wait. Well, I said that to my stepmom when I was visiting. But I haven't been asked back.
But he wouldn't be imposing. That makes totally sense. You listen to the guy. It was just like, oh, this guy's cool.
He was a carpenter. He's got.
I would follow Brad Pitt from Galilee.
Yes, you would.
Oh,
yes, yes.
But a bunch of dudes
talking.
Jesus was not the Matt Rife of that time. Where just 90% women showed up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right. Okay. All right. Well, we need a fun fact because this was.
Are we done?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm done.
Highlanders.
I'm trying to think. Hold on. I'm timing it. Oh yeah.
I timed it. I always time it.
Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, I want you guys to go to. Well, let's cover this first. I am doing a show for the Netflix is a Joke festival. Please go to the show. It will be May 2nd at the Kookaburra Lounge in Los Angeles.
Hollywood.
Europe. And I'm going to do Carrying Monsters. And
for the last time ever in
pretty
ever.
for the last full time. Then I'm going to start. They start breaking a new material out that week after. So and the show is so fucking. I mean, I don't brag about myself a lot, but this show it bangs. It's not that calm storytelling. It's
You'll be exhausted when it's over.
In a good
it's
way.
like ha ha ha.
That's not the best.
Yeah, 95 minutes of nonstop laughter. Yeah, that's a great review. I'll handle reviews too.
Dang.
I guess
ads.
I think what I'm going to do is I think I am just going to stop doing this. What is going on?
I don't know, but finally at the end I got some of it off. Yeah, I think.
So do that. Go to that this weekend.
And May 11th, Memorial Theater in Ohio.
Yeah,
Mount Vernon.
Thank God you're in charge because you really nailed
Ohio,
it.
May 11th. One show only at that theater.
Then I start breaking in the new show. So this next year, people, I'll be breaking in the all new show. And I have a bunch of crazy ideas. And this is always a scary part, starting over, man. Like after you do an album, isn't it weird? Like you're like, oh, I got more.
Yeah, it feels daunting, but there's an excitement to it, right?
Yeah,
because it's like new, trying out new stuff.
And I'll figure it out. Because I'll write it, it'll suck, and I'll be like, that was horrible.
Sucks, that's not true. April 26th and 27th. Also, this coming weekend, Friday, Saturday, 2 shows each night. We're going to be in Albuquerque, New Mexico, at the Santa Ana Star Casino. It's now called Quesada's Comedy Lounge.
Going to be a Quesada's. Going to do the comedy there. I like it. Everybody. And now it's time for Highlanders Fun Facts. Highlanders Fun Facts is Highlanders Fun Facts. Oh, we had one more segment too. Oh, we did 4 years ago. Mm-hmm. We did 4 years ago.
What?
Every week we're doing, are you better off than you were 4 years ago? This week, 4 years ago this week, he basically told you to inject bleach. Go ahead.
Yeah, and like a million things are better now, right? Stock market's up.
What is this? I saw these up there. What show? Okay.
You're not seeing double, okay?
It's 2 different pictures?
It's 2 different cards from 2 different people. Look at this. This is the fun fact. This is a fact that I got 2 gifts from fans. Oh. They just happened to get the same card.
No way.
Listen, sir.
No,
these are my cards. This is private.
They're the same.
Privacy.
You should read that.
I'm going to read this. All right.
Okay.
This is Rachel. You're gonna like this.
You're
one.
Gonna love this.
Okay. Rachel Bradley. This is the first thing that I get.
Okay.
This was addressed to me.
Okay.
I get a notification from the people here at the building.
Yep.
And I go, oh, it's addressed to me. What's this weird? I start opening up. I'm like, what the heck? Starts out with this. Rachel Bradley is the world's funniest comedian. But don't tell Chris. Okay. Don't
put it on the podcast.
Yeah. It says, hi, Ken. My name is Tom. A big fan. We enjoy the podcast. Say hi to everyone. Wasn't sure if you had one of these, but every Highlander needs at least one. And you are correct, sir. This is probably the most practical gift I've ever gotten.
Yep.
It's going to top this coffee mug that I use every day.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
What did you get?
Oh my God.
What the holy
Look at
shit.
this.
They sent you a weapon?
All right. So the apocalypse is coming, baby.
That's a katana.
It's a real sword. Are you okay?
Yeah, that's a real sword.
I don't know if we want you to have that.
I don't know. We should, leave it here at the podcast because you never know what's going to happen.
No, take it away so it's not with him at work.
Take it home to your 13-year-old. That's a great idea. Yeah, it's a great idea. You're never getting your deposit back.
When my brother got his first little Boy Scout knife, he recarved his door frame at our house in Japan. And so he lost the knife. But I'm just saying, be careful.
What's the other card?
If you come back. Okay, so we're not done. We got 2 gifts. This one, starts
Is this
off
the
by
same
saying,
card from two different people?
Two different people.
Is
Wait.
this, wait, no.
Yes.
Is this Susan?
Is it two?
Is that Susan?
Wait, is it two cards? No.
They're married, you idiot.
Yeah, they're
Okay, well, we're going to get to that.
all right, all
Jeez.
right.
There she is. You can't hear it. Listen to this.
Okay.
Chris is the world's funniest comedian. Don't tell
tell Ray.
Rachel.
That's awesome.
Nice setup. It's a perfect setup, by the way.
That was awesome. And this is the second gift. They know that I like action figures.
Wow.
Oh, that's
Look
really
at
cool.
this.
By the way, look at, okay, so this, how new is this? This movie came out a long time ago. It's actually
It's a collector's
Highlander.
item.
That's really cool.
But see, do you see this right here? Do you see that's actually, what's his face? That's actually
That's
an
me.
action figure.
What are you
I know.
talking about?
The guy who played the lead guy in them. No, that's
Ken
you, the guy
Hyland.
with the beard and the...
The guy who looked like he had developmental disabilities.
That's not Ken.
Look, and this, it even has, action figures come
You
with
opened it, you
accessories.
ruined
He's got a sword.
I can't believe you opened the action figure box. You've broken the seal. Now it's not worth as much. Oh my God.
still worth it. Look on eBay.
I am canceling
Look
the
on
tickets
eBay.
to Comic-Con right now.
It's still worse. I'm going to get it regraded. Look, it comes with accessories.
No.
Look. I mean, it comes with an editing mouse.
Wow.
That's amazing. Look at this.
Was that really in the box?
Look, it comes with a microphone.
Oh my God.
Podcast or singing or rapping.
He actually
this.
did
Look at this.
He did built a whole bit. Very nice.
It even comes with allergy medication.
There you go.
I mean, they really
that
nailed
is
it.
perfect
They nailed
for
the
you.
Highlander. That is your
the-
action figure.
The Highlander. Those
Yeah.
are my superpowers.
And there's a disc jockey that comes with it also. That's who the other
There
guy
should
in the
is.
also
back.
be
He's the DJ.
a women's yoga weekly magazine in there too.
Oh, yeah, that's a special order.
Guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Do me a favor. Go to Christopher Titus TV. Watch all our content. Subscribe to the channel. Also go to Knock 'em Dead podcast. We have a podcast that, hey, look, the one thing we're all going to deal with is death. Rachel came with this brilliant idea to talk about all the aspects of it so we can all get through it better, because it's the one thing nobody wants to deal with, and we deal with it in a funny way. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Please come see the shows. I love doing stand-up and shows. Well, she doesn't love it quite as much as me, but she's very tolerant of it. For myself, the lovely Bombshell Ray and the Highlander. Later.
Peace out.
Take a really run. And thank you, Susan and Tom Taylor.
Yeah, guys, you guys are awesome.
Yeah, they hit me up for our
Say goodbye,
address 'cause
Poochie.